Hello everyone, welcome back to Of Bricks and Dragons. Today we are working on our Fallout role-playing game. I've kind of got a little bit of a makeshift map going here. It's kind of done, not really the best, but just so that way we have an idea. I was going to go all the way up to Green Bay because I'm trying to center this more in Wisconsin. Trying to do a little bit of lookup along the way, and some of the things I am finding that I'm not finding any vaults in Wisconsin from the game itself. So if I do make any vaults, I'll probably name it starting with a 200 series or something like that. Otherwise, we're going to figure something out. So I've been spending a little bit of time. I kind of hashed it out, and I kind of did this up as a map that I printed off. Coming kind of, if anyone is familiar with Wisconsin, yeah, we have Milwaukee and all that down here. Trying to see if I can do this so that way everyone can see this. So Milwaukee would be down farther south. And then we have some towns here. I've kind of changed the names a little bit if anyone kind of, catches on to where things are. So kind of looking at it as this is 200 years later. Maybe some of the signs have been kind of changed because people have kind of renamed towns or whatever else. And that's just the direction that I kind of took things. So we have Maxon, we have Linger, and we have Ford. And then we have Dyson. We have West Crater. Obviously, there was something that had gotten dropped down here. We have Kewast. Thresha, we have Maysville, then we have, I got a couple different lines going over this, so it's getting a little harder to see. We have Campville, Eldon, we have Delac, Fondy, North Fondy, and then Tetch, Myra. It's Myra. Sitting right here. So and then one of the things that I've done here is I left the grid in here. So this is a 1/4-inch grid, just like like a lot of normal graph paper, and I did this on Excel. So one of the things that I left in here, and one of the reasons that why I did this, and this is not going to be completely to scale, I'm just throwing it out here just so it's something to go off of. I'm just putting it out here that every line here is roughly about or every square is like an hour to cross through it, just so that way, I've got some big area here and I can get through this or whatever. But just kind of looking at it in that regard. It's going to be way off the scale, but I'm just doing that just so that way we have a reference. Any game that you do, you're going to probably have things off a scale, especially if we're walking this. I mean, we would have long treks to get from one spot to the other. When I was originally measuring all this stuff out, I was figuring it was a day's travel, really, about between each one, being about 10 miles. You could probably push it for 20 miles or so, but that's just kind of where I'm going. I figured, you know what, I'll just shrink this down a little bit more. If I have a grid here, I'll do an hour per square, just to make it simple or whatever else. I know it goes faster at this point than what it should be, but so really I'm just shrinking things down a little bit, but just trying to have some fun with it. And we're just kind of going from there. When we last left our group, I'll bring them into view here. We were trying to go up to, originally I was thinking Green Bay. At this point, I'm going to say we're going to go to Delac. Delac is going to have our military outpost, which is what we are a part of. We're not Brotherhood of Steel, although I might grab some of their stuff as a common thing or whatever. Not having any actual legitimate vaults listed in Wisconsin, I'm going to say that maybe a couple places had built their own. So it's going to have some of their own stuff in there, some of their own ideas and that Vault-Tec stuff. and I'm going to kind of spare some of the vaults from actually having a lot of the really messed up experiments going on. These were vaults done to help save the people or whatever, more so than Vault Tech with their experiments. But in that same regard, they don't have all the extra redundancies and stuff like that, because these were kind of city ones or whatever, maybe sometimes done in some regards subpar, done on the cheap. So what we did do is we're saying that we have a military organization. And I was thinking of a name, and unfortunately at the moment my mind is kind of running into a glitch here, and I'm just not thinking of what I was going to call it, because I was, trying to think all this stuff through. So like I said, I'm just trying to I've got an idea of where I want to go with this, and we're going to kind of do this. I just kind of slapped this together. This is just really our start. As we left, our characters, they had kind of camped overnight. So here we have a small town that they had, quote, camped overnight, and then we're going to transition into what our next one is here in a few minutes. But so our group here, we have Tony, we have Jennifer here, and then we have Melissa, and this is where things are going to get a little different, because I was using our 2 units before. We have Buzzer, and then we have Ripper. So I will have to figure out what I'm going to do to separate them. Excuse me. I think I'm going to put the yellow, and I'm going to put a blue. So that kind of differentiates them a little bit. Now I just had a pencil and I set it down, and now I don't know where to put it. All right, there it is. All right. So Ripper is going to be black, yellow. And then I'm going to put blue on this one. All right. So this gets our group going. I still did not add any extra perks to them, so I'm actually about 3 perks shy of where I should be, because they're level 4. So I'm trying to work through other things here, so unfortunately I'm just kind of running a little bit behind on this, and I do apologize. So we're in a desolate place. We kind of camped out overnight. We're going to start continuing on. Now, right now, I'm going to say that we are probably I'll say we came up through Linger, and then we're going to be here at Dyson. So we're going to start off here, and we're going to follow our main road. So our yellow is our yellowish orange here is our main roads, and of course we have some river ways going over to some lakes and that, and then this is Lake Winnebago here. So there's river streams that connect all this, so we'll just kind of go from there. And this being all darker green, that's all now going to be swampland. We actually have a little bit of a marsh system in here. I'm going to say that things have changed. It's all kind of a swampland, so a good chance of like mirelurks and stuff like that would be in there. We want to kind of stay out of that. Not really the best for habitat here. Okay, so let's put us here on our setting. Just however they work out. We're going to continue up the road, and then after a couple hours we're going to just kind of stop, take a little rest, and this is what we kind of notice. We notice that there is a kind of metal culvert or something. And it's actually got some size to it, and we just kind of find it by accident. We're kind of sitting down, we're relaxing, and it's like you hear this big thunk of metal. So we kind of start brushing things away, and what we do find is we find like a set of doors, big heavy metal doors that we can actually pull open, and then that goes down. So I'm going to pause this, I'm going to change their scenery, and then I'm going to have some, hopefully this works out, because they've been rolled up. I should have actually unrolled those last night, but I have some maps that we can, they're dry erase maps I can draw on, and we're going to use that for our map here as we get going. And then let me transition us to that. Alright, so I've got a nice big rollout map here, and we're starting this as best as I can. I'm going to have to kind of shrink things down a little bit so I can get it all to fit in here. I was doing this on graph paper, so I think it was a little bit bigger on the graph paper than what I can fit on the map, but this is only going to be a single level, more or less dungeon, but it's a single level vault. Thank you. If I could speak today, that would be wonderful. Okay. So what we have is we have a set of double doors here. These are kind of, we went down a tunnel to get into here, and it is kind of partitioned off. This is kind of locked a little bit, but it's kind of trying to say it kind of correctly here. It's kind of rusting away here. So we can kind of force it open. It is a little harder to get open, but it, we can force it open. The lock is kind of, like I said, rusting away here. So we get the outer airlock open, and we have an inner one. And then what we have from here is we actually enter in through this, and then this is what we kind of start seeing here. And I'm going to try and draw this out as best I can. I think maybe I should have done this in between. So when we look left to right, we have like well, actually it's not even a balcony, so I guess I'm drawing it out ahead of time. The design I have is going to eventually be a bigger complex, but I'm kind of going off of this for what we have here. Let's see, I'm going to want to go over good 4 here. Okay, and then we see a door sitting about here, and then likewise on the other side we're going to have another door sitting over here. About here evenly. And when we first get in here, it's kind of darkish, kind of dingy. There's some faint lights here, but not a lot of extra stuff going on. And we hear some shuffling out there. So let me do a little roll here. I'm just going to grab one of our resident vault divers here, and we are going to have. Looks like I got Tony on the top here, so that's the character I'm just going to use. I'm going to roll our perception and let's see, probably survival. And he doesn't have a very good roll here from the looks of it. I've got a 7 in all, and I fumbled terribly, so I don't recognize anything. So we hear some skittering going around, but I don't recognize anything, so we're just going to let it go. Let's see. So trying to draw this all out here. Trying to get this so it kind of matches where I was trying to go with things. Of course, whenever I grab a marker, it's always an almost dead marker. So let's see, I'm gonna do a big old box over here. I don't think you guys can see what I'm drawing here, as I'm pretty darn certain you can't. So right over here I've got a set of doors here, and let's see, yeah, I guess you can kind of see it. The hardest part is I got a computer that's or a monitor that's farther away, so I can't see exactly what I'm drawing on here and how much you guys can see. So I've got one thing here. Let's see, and then underneath our camera here, so I'm going to draw this out. 10. I'm going to draw that, and we're going to have another door right here. So this is looks like this is almost like the foot of our. I see something here, but I can't make out what that is. Oh, okay, that's a timer on the screen. Okay, I'm thinking you guys can see one of the legs from my little tripod here. Just trying to go around here, so I know you can't see this. So okay, so I'm just trying to write a little bit of an idea of what I've got here. All right, and then our map continues on. It goes out this way, another short distance, and then I'm putting a little bit of a writing here so that way I have an idea what I've got. And then we're going to go like a wall, double set of doors. This continues on over, and I'm going to get on the other side here so I can try and finish drawing this out here, because what I have on the one side I kind of copied it a little bit, just trying to keep a similar form, and we're just kind of going from there. So 2, 4, 6, 7. All right, 2, 4, 6, 7. It goes over. It's just a simple thing of how I kind of try and do things. If I'm doing it one way on one side, I usually do something similar on the other. And of course this is going to have walls here. We'll have some doors, and we're going to come on over here more. Let's see here, we're going to have double doors. We have a door here, right there, kind of coming over here, and then we have a long building over here with doors and then doors. So this goes out probably about here. Oops, let me go over there. All right, not that they can see the back side here, but just so we have an idea. All right, so we're going to pick up a flashlight and we're going to shine it around. I couldn't see anything initially, and this is where we get into our first combat here. I'm going to have 1, 2 ghouls, and seeing that I got new bases here, I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been changing the bases out a little bit. So what I had kind of done is I picked up 3x3 plates, and then I got a 1x3 that centers it out in the middle, and that is the base for our figures. So really this is a clear 3x3, and then that's a 1 wide by 3. That way I can then put the figure here, and that fits in that square because that's now 1 inch. That's the reason why I got that. I figure if I'm using Legos for our figures, I'm going to try and figure out a way to have a base here so that way we can do this. Nothing against the other ones. I'm just trying to keep everything within that 1 inch square. So if I have figures on top of each other, I'm not kind of over things, especially if I pull out some different terrain tiles. Just trying to limit things in that regard. All right. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. I'm just going to make a simple roll. This is for them. They got a 10, and we got a 10. I always favor their characters. So we're going to go first on this one. So we kind of stumbled upon each other at the same time. And that's the way I'm going to treat it. So we're going to start some combat here. I'm only going to have 2 zombies. I know I'm figuring out or putting some extra bases out for some of my other ones here, just in case I need them, but I don't think I'm going to need them here today. So I'm using a different character sheet or whatever, just as a base for these guys. Nothing major. Let's see. I don't really want to use that one. I just want to use this one. Okay. So I've got Tony coming through the door, and then we have, let's see. I got bunnies looking at me as I'm talking. All right. So we're going to start with Melissa, seeing that I just moved her sheet forward here. She's got small guns, and she's got agility and small guns of 4, so that takes it to a 9. The good news is because small guns is one of my tag skills, I only need 1 success. I only need 1 9 out of that, and I failed horribly. Okay, so Melissa fails. Then we have Tony here. He's going to shoot, and he needs a 9 as well. Small guns is not a tag skill, so he needs 2 successes, and I fail there. And combat just goes as slow as it goes here. I'm going to say Jennifer can kind of shoot in between. She's got small guns tagged. She needs a 13. And of course I get that one. So, I've got paperwork stacked on top of paperwork here. So, just trying to get this all worked out here. Okay. I guess I got some scrap paper here. Just trying to keep everything going. So I'm going to do, first one is H, and then we have I for the other guy. Seeing that I believe that's like based off of Hawkeye, and that's based off of Iron Man as zombies. Okay. And then they're going to have 10 hit points. And let's see, I'm going to give them just a physical of 1. Okay. So, she hits, let's see, she's shooting a 10mm, it does 4 damage. So I need 4 dice here. There's 2. There's 3. I got a 4th fallout one. Okay. So that gets me 5 damage. You have a damage resistance of 1. So that gets me 4 damage to our Hawkeye. So he's sitting from 10 down to a 6. Alright, and then they're going to scurry on our way. They don't have any actual weapons in their hands. They're just going to, they're feral zombies, so they're just going to kind of move them about 6 or so. There. That's, typically for most role-playing games, that's about as far as you're going to move it around. So I'm going to leave that be. So at that point they moved up. We're going to go through one more time, trying to shoot. Let's see. Melissa gets a 4 and a 6. She needed a 9, and small guns was a tag skill, so that hits. And she's got a 10 millimeter. She's going to keep shooting at the same one. She got 1. And it's reliable. Close quarters. Yeah, it's just not gonna make it through. All right, and then we have Tony. Small guns, 9. He is not a tag skill, but he does hit, and he's got a 3. He's got a pipe pistol, and he does 3 damage. So that's going to do two points that get through. So our Hawkeye here is down to 4 points, and then we're going to have Jennifer. She's going to roll. We get a 9 and a 7. I needed a 13 or less, so we make that. She's got 4, and we do 4 points of damage. That means that Hawkeye figure is dead. So I'll take that off of there, set them over by the other ones. Alright. And then our Tony Stark one comes up. I'm going to roll a regular die here. And actually it would be going over to Tony here. Tony on Tony. Tony Stark on Tony. Alright. So, let's see. Just off of our regular character. I don't know. Nope, unarmed is not listed, so just being unarmed. And would need a, well, we got a 1, which is definitely a success. So so hits for that's a good question. I don't remember what unarmed is. Unarmed attack would be 2 damage. All right, and gets 1. Going to Tony does not have armor on his head, so left leg, so it doesn't actually make it through. So one of the things I was doing wrong is I was not paying attention to tag skills. If you have tag skills, one of the nice benefits for that is you only need you need 1 less success than what you would normally need. So if you normally need 2 for combat, you only need 1. If you needed 3 or 4 for whatever event and it was a tag skill, instead of 4 it would need a 3, instead of a 3 it would need a 2. So that works out pretty good in that regard. Okay, so we have Melissa. She needs a 9. We get a 3, so that makes it the 20. Doesn't, but she only needed a 1. She's got a 9 or a 10 millimeter shooting at our ghoul here. That's 6, so that's 5 points going through. Tony, he needs a 9 or less. We get an 8 and a 20, but he needs 2 successes, so unfortunately he does not make it. And then last of all, then we have Jennifer. She needs 1 success at a 13 or less, and of course we make it. She's using a 10 millimeter, so that's 4 dice. So here's our 5 that make it through. There's our 1 that does not, so that means that that zombie or ghoul is now gone. Okay. Clicked up my sheets so that way I can figure out where we are. Alright, so we get through. We see a nice open area here. It looks like, you know, it's kind of dirty and dingy, kind of like something had kind of cracked, like given away, a lot of dust coming in, so whatever they were using to filter their air or whatever did not work, so whatever is left in here is probably still in here. Obviously, that's why we're getting our ghouls. So we're going to step out. Now that we've kind of cleared our zombies, I probably should have done that, and then I could have had maybe our Mr. Handies, or not Handies, but Mr. Gutsies help us out. Handies, Gutsies, whatever. So we will kind of go around here. We're going to check our first door here. And what we find, let me see if it's going to be locked or not. I'm going to see if it's a 3 and lower. 1 through 3, it's unlocked. If it's higher than that, it's locked. Okay. So now we're going to have to pick the lock. So I got to see if anybody's got a lock pick. And if anyone even has lock picking. Let's see. Aha. Melissa has lock picking. And let's see. She's got 5 bobby pins. So we can have 5 attempts. Okay. Grab a drink. So I'm going to need I'm going to say a perception and lockpick. So that gives me a 9 or less. I need 1 success out of 2. And I get 2. Alright, so she picks the lock. We open it up. And we're going to find what looks like a security office. So this was like the vault security or whatever. We find like a couple monitors in here that have kind of gone blank. There is a dead body sitting in the chair, slumped over. At this point, it's just a skeleton. Let's see here. I think we're going to find a couple different guns. I should have a better list than what I'm just going to come up with in my head. We'll rummage through. I'm going to do a search. Let's see. What would be our search here? Alright, I guess it's going to be a survival. And actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a perception and luck, seeing I don't have a search here. So that's an 11. So I need whatever success is here. Okay, so I rolled bad. I needed an 11. What this is really doing is this kind of telling me what I find in here. So I think with an 11, all I'm going to find is maybe 20 rounds of ammo. I think I was keeping track of that somewhere else, but I think maybe I was writing it on the back of somebody's character sheet. I don't remember where I was putting that stuff. And I know when I was playing with my friends and that, and I brought it up, and then they're like, well, because I know I talked about it before. I'm not really keeping track of how many rounds we're using. This is just for fun. Okay, I don't want to be overly serious about it and everything else. I want this lighthearted, fun, kind of quick going, stuff like that. So I'm not really worrying about how much ammo you're using as long as you're not as long as the group is not abusing it. Like there's the question came up, like we have a fire rate. Now if you notice, I'm just doing 1 round at a time. With a fire rate of 2, you can actually increase how much damage you're doing by 1. So I could actually, there's a fire, you have a 0, a 1, a 2, and all that. So if you wanted to do a fire rate of 2, you could actually add 2 extra dice to that roll, is what we were kind of doing. But if you knew you were doing like a 44 revolver, 44 Magnum revolver, it's like every other round you're going to have to reload, which is just a simple action. But if you're trying to abuse the system or whatever, then we're going to have other things. You know, we're trying to balance it so it's not being abused, but it's just keeping combat going at a fairly good pace. That's my real concern. I just want this to kind of flow, a little less management on that part. Let's just have fun, and that's the way we've always kind of done it. You know, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons and you have arrows or bolts or whatever. I'm not concerned about trying to keep track of all that as long as I know you have some ammo. So when I'm giving out ammo or whatever as a reward, that's stuff that could be sold. So I'm doing it in that regard because quite often I find myself in Fallout, for some of the guns I don't really use, I might have a bunch of that ammo and I will sell it later. It's just something I'm just getting so I can sell later. So that's why I'm kind of doing it in that regard. If it makes sense to anybody else, you know, I'm hoping it does. And then what I'll probably sell the ammo for is I'll probably sell it for maybe 5 caps per 10. You know, something really cheap. They're not going to get a lot of money off of it, but they can get some money. So that's kind of the way I'm going about things. I'm not really giving them a ton of stuff. I'm not trying to get overpowered characters. I just want this to be nice and fun and all that. And everybody seems to be having fun and a good time. So as long as I keep it lighthearted like that, I think everybody does pretty good. Okay. So because I rolled so poorly here on trying to find stuff, I really didn't find anything. I was kind of hoping maybe I could throw them a gun or two, but I rolled terrible, so that's something that they're not going to get. We're going to get into the next one, and again, I'm going to do that same roll. 1 through 3 is locked, or unlocked. 6, it's locked, so we're going to have to do a lock pick again. And of course, then we have Melissa here, which I believe I did. Lock pick is a 3, and I think I was doing perception, so that's a 9 or less. She needs 1 success. She gets it without a problem. Okay, so we open this up. There is a ghoul inside of a cage. So we have a cage here. So this was a prison. Essentially, it was their little jail. So if people misbehaved, they had a little jail. So it was something I had kind of thought of. So we have a ghoul here trying to get out. We can do this however we want. Or we could just leave him. I mean, obviously he's not getting out of there. It's a steel cage. So I think we're just going to leave. It's already in there. We're going to close the door. So he's stuck in there. Not a problem. No big deal. Or if you want to, you could actually, you know, do a coup de grace and off the feral ghoul. So anybody else that comes in here doesn't have to worry about it. Okay. So then we go through the next area, and I'm going to do the same roll. Again, it's locked. And again, we make it. So Melissa is definitely on point so far for trying to unlock these. So what we have is, I'm hoping you can see this fairly well. We have a hydroponics lab. And with that, we're going to have another ghoul rise up out of here and run to attack us as we're in here. So we will start off with just Melissa and Tony. Melissa needs that 9 or better, and she misses. Tony needs a 7, I believe. He misses. Ghoul actually runs up and he goes to, yep, Tony. Okay. And he needs 2 successes, but he only got 1. Because the character sheet I'm using does not have unarmed, so just is what it is. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide around here. And I'm going to have the 3 of us in here. Actually, I think if it's right here, and the door might open this way, it's a door. So if you think of Vault-Tec doors, they actually go up. However you want to swing it, say it goes up, I could get one of the Mr. Handies or whatever, Mr. Handies, Mr. Gutsies to attack. So we can have 4 attacks going on him. So again, we'll have Melissa here. She needed a 9 or better. She misses. Tony needed a 9 or better. Got a 9 and a 6. So he hits for 3 and gets nothing. And then we have, let's see, Jennifer, I believe. And she needs a 13 or less. And we get a 10, and she's got small guns listed, so she does 4. Okay, that one was underneath the leg. That was a 2. And I do 4 damage. Let's see. So that's going to be a 6. And then we have our Mr. Gutsy here. Or Mr. Handy, whatever, Ripper. Actually, I was right. That is Ripper. Okay. So he's going to use his buzzsaw, seeing that it's close range here. Needs a 12 or less. And that is a tag skill. And I got an 8 and a 16, so he hits. And he's doing 4 damage. Piercing. So that means that we have 3 points that go through. So our ghoul is down to 3. Now because we have a group here, if it's a 5 or a 6, and it's going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 5, 1. So he's going to try and attack our Mr. Handy here. We get a 7 and an 18, and I need 2 successes, so misses. So we're going to go straight through again. Melissa needing a 9. I do get a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do 3 damage. That's all that I need for killing off that ghoul. Alright. So, looking through here, it looks like the lights have not been working very well for the last number of years. All the plants in here are dead. The water's got a faint chemical smell, probably from trying to throw some extra nutrients in for the plants. So probably not the best water to try and drink if anyone was to think about trying to do that. So we will move on to our next area. Okay. Let's see. Again, we're going to roll, see if it's locked. And again, it's locked. So we're going to see if Melissa can get a 9 or better. I got a 4 and 11. I only needed a 1. So we successfully unlock it. We go in here, and this is a foul, putrid smell. This was, at one point, it is filled with rows of cages for rabbits. And the smell of decaying flesh and bunny poo that has been slowly turning to dirt just is not a very pleasant smell. We're going to back out of here, close that door, and then try and cover our noses and that. It is just foul. So whether there was something in there, we're not even going to get in there far enough to even worry about it. Close it quick and just let it go. Very bad. Okay. Now, we'll go over to the next spot here. Let's see here. And this one is unlocked. Okay, so we enter into this one, and we have another zombie, or another ghoul. So this looks like it was a butcher shop. So we have a ghoul here just coming up, running at us from the other side. And I got a bunny that's kind of thumping around. I don't know what he's up to. He's having fun in his cage. Alright. So, we got Melissa here. She needs a 9 or better. I got an 8. So, obviously, we hit him. And I get 2 points through. So, it gets me down to 8. And then we got Tony, and he needs, I believe, he needs a 9 or better, but I need 2, and he fails. And then I've got Jennifer here, and she needs a 13. I got a 5 and a 15. That 5 is all I needed. That's going to be 4. And I get 2 more points, so that's down to 6. Alright. Now, 1 through 3, 4. Tony's apparently the favorite here for the most part tonight. Okay. Let's see, I think I needed a 7 or better, I believe. I got 1, but I got a 12, so that does not make it through. Okay. We'll start over. So we have Melissa, 9 hits for 4 points. Oops. 4 points. Only 3 make it through, you silly. Alright, 3. Alright, and then we have Tony. He's got to get a 9. Get a 6 and a 12. He doesn't make it. And then we have Melissa, or Jennifer, I should say. And I make it with her. And I get 3 through, or 3 points. 2 of them make it through, so the ghoul only has 1 point left. Tries to charge at us. 7 or better. I got only 1. And then we're back to Melissa. And she gets a 9. That's what we needed. I'm hoping. Yep. Okay, that's just enough. So I got I got 2. So 1 makes it through. All right. So we go into the butcher shop. Again, it's foul smelling. This flesh has been kind of just rotting here. Not a very pleasant smell. But we move on from there. It's just kind of putrid. Not as bad as the rabbit area, because that's just a mixture of the poo and the and urine and the decaying corpses. This is just the meat afterwards, so this isn't quite as bad. So let's see here. We're going to continue on here, and of course we're going to roll 2. It's unlocked, which I was hoping it should be. I'm going to move my paperwork over here. Alright, so we are going to have 3 different zombies in here. Looking inside here, this was once a cafeteria. I'm going to do this. Let's see, and then we're going to have... shoot, I can't think of the character's name. L. Alright. You know, L might even be close to his name. He was a villain for Superman here, and I can't think of what his name is. Anyways, we have a zombie of him, or a zombie of him, so he works for a ghoul. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to shoot through the doorway, and we're going to have our Mr. Handy sitting here, and we're going to start shooting off at this one here, hoping that you guys see this. We're going to start shooting at this one. That's our Hawkeye, I believe. Alright, so Melissa is We get a 1. So that makes it. And I got 4 points. 3 go through. So it's 7. And then we have Tony for 9. I only got 1. We have Melissa for, Jennifer for 13, and I make that without a problem. And I get 2 points, so 1 makes it through. So that 7 becomes a 6. Alright, so our zombies start coming through. He's the closest. Makes it through the door. Everybody can open up. If he attacks, he's going to be attacking Melissa here. 7 or better, I believe. Misses. And everybody's going to kind of open up. Oops. So, I need a 9. I miss. Tony's a 9. He misses. He only had 1 success. And then we have Jennifer. Jennifer misses. Holy shishkis. I am doing horrible. Okay, so now we got Ripper. And Ripper is going to use his Flamer. That's going to be big guns. And he misses. He only had a 7, and I believe the other one is the same thing. And I got a 9. I wish it was a 6 because that would have been a hit. But that's not, so here we are. Okay. Zombies turns again. So now we have, he's going to jump out and try and attack there. And they're trying to come out. Lobo, I think that's the name. Alright, so he's going to attack there. Needs a 7. I only got 1. Lobo will hit. I did get 2 successes here, so I believe that is 2. Only 1, and yellow, let's see, armor was 2 for physical, so it doesn't make it through. Okay. So again, these 3 are going to attack here. These 2 are going to attack right there. So we have Melissa. I needed a 9. I got a 1. For no. Alright. And then we have Tony. Tony does not make it. And then we have Jennifer. Yeah, I actually said the name right. We got a 4 and a 19, so that means that she makes it through. And I get 4, so that means that 3 points make it through. So we're at a 3. Now, Ripper. Ripper and Buzzer are going to change to their buzz saws. They need a 12 or better. That's 1, and that's 2. They only need 1 success because they have those skills tagged, and they're going to be 4 points each. So one gets through, so we have a 9. Second one gets 1 through, so it'll be an 8. Okay. So our Hawkeye needs a 7 or better. Nope. No. And he's stuck right at the doorway. So we'll start this all over. Combat has been going a lot faster knowing the whole tag skill. I know that this is probably going on for a little bit, going all the way around. We're going to get through this, and we'll end at just leaving or whatever. So we have a couple more rooms, and as you see, we have like double doors here. So we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to finish this off. Let's see here. We have Melissa here. I got a 4, so she hits for 4. 2 of them get through, so that's only 1. Going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye, kiddo.
bye, bunnies.
And then we have our Tony. and he only got one success. So I think when I go through this or whatever, and I actually get them, I'm gonna have to try and make sure I get his skill tagged if I can. All right. Jennifer gets a 3 and needed a 13 or less, so she makes it. And that's a pretty good roll. So we have 4 points that go through. There's only 2 left, so that Hawkeye is gone. Okay, so we're going to have our Mr. Handies, Ripper and Buzzsaw. Let's see, I got a 9, and they needed a 12 or better, so that's 1, and that's 2. Okay. So we got 4. So only 3 points actually make it because he's got... I'm not rolling for... I'm just trying to keep this going a little faster here. I should be rolling to see if it actually maybe hit him in the head and all 4 points go through. I'm just trying to keep this going fairly quick. 3 points make it through. So I get a 5. Mine's not working here. Okay. And in the other one, only 1 point made it through, so we're at a 4. Okay. So he moves over, and he takes up position where the other one was. So the same thing. These 3 are going to shoot at the old Iron Man. These 2 are going to go after Lobo. I've got a 15 and a 16. I needed a 9 or better. And I got a 2 and a 16. I needed a 9 or better. This is a 13, and I got 2 20s, so I don't get anything. All right. And then these 2, I needed a 12 or better. A 9 and a 5, that's 1. I get a 3 and a 14. I only needed 1. So 4 points, or 4 dice each. 3, so 2 points go through. And then I'm hoping for another 3. Yay, I got 4. Okay, so he's gone. Okay, so our last guy here. I wanted a 7, but he's not tagged with that skill, so I needed 2 7s, so he does not make it for hitting me. Alright, Melissa needed a 9. I get 1 6, so she gets through. For 2 points, and only 1 is going to make it through, so that'd be a 9. And we have Tony here, and he doesn't make it. Jennifer, I got an 18 and a 20. She doesn't make it. They're gonna sneak forward, and they're just gonna... I need a 12 or better. Misses and misses. Okay, my 7 misses. Okay, so we start all over. Melissa needing a 9. I got a 7, so she hits. 4, 3 points make it through. That's a 6. Tony, I needed a 9 or better. He actually made it through, but he's only got 3 dice. And for only 1 point, so it doesn't actually make it through. And then we have Jennifer, and she's got 13. That makes it. She gets 4 dice. All right. So 4 points. 3 of them make it through, so that's going to be 3. And I'm going to roll for Ripper and Buzzer. Okay. I needed a 12 or better. I miss. And this one makes it. Okay, so 1 more. We have a chance. And that chance works out. Okay, he's gone. Okay. So after the combat, we're going to come in here. We're going to check things out. There's good opportunity for some loot here. We'll see what we actually come up with. Again, I'm going to do a perception and luck. So that's an 11 or better. And I get a 3. A 3 and a 12. So the 12 doesn't make it. That means I get 1. So what I'm going to find here is I'm going to roll down. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I didn't come up with any lists before I did this, so I do apologize. That was some of the things I wanted to do, but I really wanted to get this done today. I'm hoping to get the Star Trek done this weekend as well. And then I know the wife wants me to spend some time with her and the family, so I don't have a list ready to go. I know I do have it in a book. I don't have the book in my hand, so I'm just kind of coming up with things off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say we find 4 squirrel bits. Three fancy ladies. And 3 purified water. I think I probably went a little overboard on that. Okay, so we're going to come out that other door. So we're going to hit on the far side there. Now I'm going to try and look and see what I had scheduled there. Okay, we're going to go in there. We're going to roll. 2. Doors unlocked. Okay. So we're going to find a maintenance shop. Now I'm going to do another same kind of roll. And we're going to find 1 zombie in there. Okay. So I'm going to move these guys forward a little bit. Kind of doing the same kind of system that we had before. And then these guys are right behind here. Unfortunately, with them having flamers, I really don't want them to have the flamers going right by us. I could probably sneak that out and say, yeah, it doesn't do damage to us. It just kind of snuck through. But for realism's sake, I think I'm going to leave that be. All right. So we're going to have 1 zombie come through. We're going to attack that zombie. I'm going to say the zombie gets a chance at us. He misses. Using the same kind of template or whatever. I mean, we're learning everything. It's pretty much an automatic thing here. Okay, so we have Melissa. She makes it. Doing 4. 4 points hit. So 3 of them go through. So that's a 7. Tony doesn't make it. And I needed a 13 or better for Jennifer. She hits. And 3 points make that, so that takes us down to 4. Okay. Now I think in the future, if I ever do a Mr. Handy or something else, I think I'd like to do like a blaster or something like that instead of having a flamer. I think the flamer is kind of nice, but you know, think for me to say for them being behind or something like that, I don't think a flamer would make it through. So we're going to do the ghoul. Ghoul misses. And again, we're going to start with Melissa. Melissa misses. She needs a 9. Tony's the same way, but he needs 2. And then we have Jennifer. Jennifer misses. And now it's the ghoul again. And the ghoul misses. So, alright. This time Melissa hits. She only needs the 1. That's 4. Okay, so we got 3, 4, 5. 1 gets knocked off, so that's 4, so that means he's dead. Okay, we kill off the ghoul. So we go inside, looking in there and that. This was once a maintenance room, so there's a couple miscellaneous broken motors and stuff like that that we see. Kind of some miscellaneous parts or whatever, nothing really good. if the characters were actually skilled and had some mods or something, they could put the mods on here. I'd say that they'd have a workbench to do that with, but nothing really to do with this. I could do a roll here. That's a really good roll because I think I needed a 9. What do I have? Perception and luck. That was actually 11 or lower. So now if I wanted to, I could throw out whatever. Okay. One of the things I really want to kind of throw out here is I do want to throw out an opportunity for a gun. So we're going to roll, and I'm going to kind of go from like a pipe pistol, pipe rifle, 10 millimeter, 44. So if this gets a 6, that would be like a 44 Magnum. Okay. Or nope. A 4 would be a 44 Magnum, and all right. So we just got a pipe pistol. One pipe pistol. You know, just throwing it out here. Pistol 110 mil. 110 pistol. All right. Okay. So in that regard, you know, we got 2 guns out of it. They were just in there to be fixed. They're fully functional. We're good. Now we're going to go into our next room. So our next room, door is locked. So we will have to roll to unlock that. I believe we needed a 9 or better. This one we break our lockpick. So the question is, do we want to go on again? So that's 4 lockpicks that we have. I think we could probably spend another one. She's been doing really good. So double 7s. Let me see what my lockpick was. I had a 3. I believe it was agility of 5. Or no, perception 6. So that'd be a 9 or better. So she unlocks it. We should be good. I'm gonna roll. Yeah, we're gonna get tackled. We're gonna have one more zombie. I'm not gonna move him over at this point, but you get the idea. We have another I want to say zombie ghoul coming our way. We're gonna get the drop on this one. 13 misses. Oh, we get a 1, and that's because it's a 1. It's a double hit, so that means we can do 3 damage, and only got 1, so that's not going to make it through. All right, and then last of all, I got a 9. I needed like a 13, I believe it was 12 or 13 for her. 13. So she hits for 3 damage. So that's going to be, we're just going to put it here, an 8. Well, 2 points to get through. Zombie needs 7s. Hits us. The question is, Tony or Melissa? Melissa would be 1 through 3, so that's her for 2. And 1 point to the torso, so that doesn't make it through. Okay. So Melissa shoots. We got a 15 and an 18. She does not make it. And then we have a 7 and an 8. He needs a 9 or better, so that makes it. So he's got 3 dice. Only 1 point, so that doesn't make it through. And then I got a 14 and a 6, so that makes it. Alright, so 3 points. 2 of them make it through, so that's down to a 6. Alright. So how many have I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Just trying to keep track of how many ghouls I had, because there should be a set number in here. And looking at it, you know, just trying to figure this all out. All right. Shoot, now I lost where I was. I'm going to say it's his turn. Okay. He didn't hit us, so we're going to do this over. Melissa, 6, so that hits. So 3 points go through. Then we have Tony, 11 and a 7. I needed a 9 or better, so that doesn't make it through. 5 and a 2, that works for Jennifer. And let's see, 3 points make it through, so that means that zombie is dead. All right, so we're looking here at this one. Slide everybody over, and he's dead out of there. Okay, so this one is a medical center. So essentially, this was once probably the doctor that we killed. We can go in there, doing a check here. I don't make my success here, so whatever bandages or whatever else have either decayed or had been used, so they're no longer viable anymore. For the time that this had been used, it looks like it was a pretty had been used pretty heavily, and had been at one time a fairly well stocked for, you know, a private bunker kind of community bunker kind of deal, something like that. So we're going to go over to our next one. So let me kind of watch which way I go, because I got cords hanging here. All right, so we're going to walk over to here. Okay, and we're going to roll a die. We're going to figure out if this opens up or not. Move my chair out of the way. Okay, 4, so that means it's locked. So there again, Melissa, she unlocks it. So we get this unlocked. This was once the classroom / community hall. Nothing's in here. So what we see is like a projector. There's a couple tables, some chairs and that. No desks, it's tables. Because like I said, it was going to be a classroom and a community hall. So that way they could, you know, have meetings or whatever else, and figuring that if you had kids, and we go from there. Nothing really remarkable. Nothing's really left. I can roll here. Yeah, I think maybe if I think I could write down we found like one magazine. Now I'll have to figure out what magazine that is later. And last of all, we're going to move on over and we're going to check this next one. Actually, we got 2 of them here. So the first one is going to be unlocked. And then it's going to be empty. This one looks like it was the vault, like their overseer's office. Kind of a smaller office, not a lot in here. The computer that was in here is all kind of broken, so we really don't have any big understanding of what this vault was, who put it together. There's nothing here saying Vault Tech. This is all like a community vault that had been done at one point. Seeing that, like I said before, I have not found any records of anyone having any vaults up here, so I'm not putting a Vault Tech vault in quite yet. But this was a private vault that somebody had gone through and built. And we stumbled upon it by accident. So we have that going on. And then the next one, let's see if the door's locked. The door is locked. So we're going to try and pick it. I got a 7 and a 10, And I believe that picked it because I believe I only needed a 9, so the 7 should have worked. And lockpick is a, yeah, I needed a 9. Lockpick is a tag skill. So we picked the lock. This is our engine room here. This is where our volts power source is. And there's a power core sitting on the floor, and we could decide to put it in or not. If we do, that should hopefully bring up the lights and all that. So we're going to try and do that. I don't know what's all going on and why it would be off, but we're gonna see about doing that. So we're gonna put it in. I'm just gonna kind of roll here because I kind of have an idea of something I want to do. We put it in, and there's a computer kind of next to it, and it comes on, and it starts kind of spitting out and saying countdown system initiated. So we're looking at it and looking into the computer. Anyone with a computer, let's see, would that be science and intelligence maybe? I think we're going to do that. Science and intelligence, I got a 3. That'd be a 12. Oops. Okay, so I got 1, and it is TIG. So we look into it. Essentially, this is a countdown for destruction. Once this goes off, this is going to blow. So we have, it's counting down for like 15. So we have like 15 seconds. So we're going to beat feet and get out of here. We're just going to zoom on out of here and go. And as we leave the vault, a big explosion and the whole ground just kind of flattens down underneath. So whatever, so the whole thing was set to just kind of go off. So that's obviously why the power core was taken off. I did this really to make sure that we couldn't use this as a base. Because we're going to try and get up to Fondi here, or we're going to get up to Delac. Delac is where we're trying to eventually get back to. Like I said in our last episode, we're really kind of going out trying to scavenge whatever we can find. We're going to hit different routes and that, trying to find whatever we can find, and bring it back for supplies to try and keep our base going and all that. And we'll just go from there. So with that being said, this is a good spot to stop. We're going to kind of catch a breather. We're just going to kind of rest, set up camp and that, and we're going to go from there. And we will catch this all on the next episode, and we'll go from there. So thank you for visiting today. Thank you for sitting around the pool table and listening to how I'm kind of doing this, trying to keep this kind of flowing. Hopefully this gives you ideas for just kind of doing whatever you're doing in your game. And hopefully it gives you ideas to add into your game, or maybe better ways to do things. I'm not saying I'm perfect at how I run games. It does work for the group that I run in. And like I said, I try to keep things fun and a little bit faster pace, because combat does take a little bit of time at times. So I will see you in the next video.